Cool. How's going, guys? How's going? My name's Joe. I'm going to start up a YouTube channel with my mate Henry, and I've been doing gold panning tours for the last 5 years. Some people might know me, some people might not know me. But I have been asked a few times why don't I do a YouTube channel, and I'm really just a gold panner. I'm not very good with computers. But Henry's been living with me for the last year. We're getting along pretty well, so we're going to give this a red hot crack. It is a little bit by popular demand, as again I've had a bit of interest, but I'm not going to bore you guys to tears. I want to keep this moving as best as I can and just introduce us and explain exactly what we're doing. We're going to go out there and we're going to look for gold and look for treasures, and we're going to show you guys all aspects of metal detecting and fossicking and prospecting, and we're just going to stay in Hill End and make it Hill End orientated. Trying to think what else. I mean, the thing is that I'm quite new to this. I'm a rookie and I'm an amateur. We're both amateur filmmakers doing this, so it's going to be fun. You guys are going to learn with us as we go and learn anything out in the field that we're going to learn. The other thing I really want to bring up is that the main people on YouTube that I did a quick research on was, there were three types. You know, there was one type was the big film crews with a lot of money, and they had teams of filmmakers and teams of prospectors, and they had money behind them. Me and Henry are really two broke guys just in Hill End, in the hills, living with our wolves, and you know, we're going to show you the reality of it all. Number two is, there are other guys out there on YouTube like us. They're the rookies, you know. We're going to come at it from a real new angle. We're going to come at it fresh, and we're going to come at it quite tenacious. And number three that's out there on YouTube is just, there's a lot of fakes. There's so many fakes out there. There are just people in the creeks just scooping up gold, or they're going out with metal detectors and they're just finding stupid amounts, and it just doesn't happen like that. So I'm going to show you guys a bit of my gold collection as well, and we're going to make a tally up because this is our first episode, and a lot of people do ask me how much gold I have, and again, I'm a pro panner. I've been panning well for the last 5 years, you know, and I've known how to pan since I was in nappies. But I've been getting more gold for other people than actually finding gold for myself the last 5 years. So this is going to be a new quest for me and Henry in our search for gold and knowledge and treasure in Hill End. This is a little bit of my gold that I dried out the last 24 hours for you guys. I've got a $2 coin here that I use for perspective. It's a little bit of my thing that my old man taught me, so you guys can see that. That's all of my gold. I'm not a very rich guy, you know. So when we do this, hopefully in 20 episodes time, you know, in 20, I'll have a little bit more. I can guarantee is I won't, but the thing is, that's just like with gold. It's really hard. It's not easy. You've got to put the time, the work, the effort in, okay? You're not just going to go down to the creek and find it straight away, you know. I have only been metal detecting not even a dozen times, and in that dozen times I have not found much. Metal detecting's a whole different game, but we're going to explore it. These are some of the items that I have found metal detecting. The front of an old padlock. Look, it's not going to make me rich, but I think it's cool, and it shows that people have been here in Hill End in the 1800s, as well as a bit of hobnail boot. Now, a lot of metal detectorists have found a lot of hobnail boots, and I've washed up a button in the creek. A lot of buttons are going to be found. It's the aim of the game is, you know, you're going to sift through the garbage first before you find the real treasure. And there's luck to it. You know, without the skill, you can't find the stuff at all. But there's still a large element of luck. So throughout the program, we're going to be, you know, showing you guys a few of the pieces that I found. They're the only two I found metal detecting. The others I found just walking around here and keeping my eyes open, okay? I found a glass cork one day, Liam Perrins on top of it. Everyone's found a bit of Chinese pottery. I just bring it up because it shows the Chinese have been in the area, you know. Found an old rusty knife. That could just be from the 50s, but I think it's really cool, and it was washed up in the 1800s Gold Creek of Tamboroorup. And I found an old padlock just on the road up behind my place underneath the telegraph lines. Really old padlock. So there are still things that's not going to make me rich, and that's, you know, fingers crossed by the end of 20 episodes we get rich and famous. That could be the idea. But we'll just see what happens. And we're going to go out and we're going to go on an adventure. So, I'm going to weigh this stuff up directly, and then we're probably going to go out and do some stuff. I'll catch you soon. Cool, guys. Before we get to the moment of truth, I'm just going to show Henry's little collection here. He doesn't have much, but it is mine and his journey. He's probably going to hate me for this, but I'm going to just chuck it out of his sample bottle into a black pan, put my $2 coin next to it. I think you guys can see that. He does have a beautiful little $20 piece nugget there. I'd say it's not enough to weigh, but we are going to get to it in future episodes because he is joining us with this journey of gold. He did also get, because he's been panning with me heaps in the creek, so he did get really lucky one day, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that. We'll get some photos and find a heap of speckled gold throughout this quartz. We did hit it with a metal detector. It didn't make any noise, so we didn't crush it up, but it's a beautiful, beautiful little piece, okay? Now, moment of truth, my gold collection, okay? It's never enough, you know, you always want more. I'm going to put a guess before I weigh it. I'm praying for 5 grams. I really am. Could be more, could be less. You might be worried, oh my, he's showing his gold collection, but I've got about 3-4 acres here, and 2 acres is like 10-foot high fence with a heap of dogs. So I'm pretty safe in here. Anyway, I'll weigh this up in front of you guys. I know there's probably a lot of old fellas and gold prospectors out there going, what is he doing right now? I know, you shouldn't do this outside. There's not really too much wind today. I'm only going to be as quick as I can. Henry's probably going to have to get the camera and move it around soon so you guys can see the weight. Do you want to do that now, Henry? Jump that camera up, bring it around, have a look. 0, 0, 0. She's fluctuating because she's new. I'll tear it now. Ready? Teared. 0, 0. We might have to go inside. Hang on. Tear him up. Alright. Done. Good enough. It's fluctuating by 0.3. Oh! Quick. Did that to the back of the camera. Oh, you can see I'm shaking. Oh, Nelly, as Henry says. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth, guys. My final... Holy hell, I'm quite happy with that. 12 grams there. I've got over 1/4 of an ounce. We'll call it 12. I don't want to get cocky and say 12 and a half. Oh, have a look at that before I put it away in there. Oh, I'm shaking. Beautiful. Oh, I love gold. The camera doesn't do much justice, you know. Oh, there goes the front of the camera. It's good. It shows we're rookies. We're starting out. But I'm not doing that again. It is hard to do. It is precious stuff. It took a lot of work to find that. 12 grams, we're going to call it. Okay, that's the start and the tally. And we'll see what happens throughout the program. Fingers crossed we find something. But this is all I have, guys. This is all I have. This is all Henry has. Okay, and we're going to go out there, fingers crossed. We're going to put some man hours in. This is going to be short episodes, but there's a lot you guys aren't going to see behind the scenes, but we're going to fill you in. We're going to do as best as we can. Let's get out there and find some gold. Fingers crossed. Okay guys, so we just weighed up my gold, and now we're out in the field looking for some gold and some artifacts. I'm just going to quickly reiterate what we are going to do throughout the series, because that's one of the things. We're going to get out here, we're going to show you how hard it is, because I did just slide off a ridge about 50 metres, and it was sort of angled like that. And there are elements of danger involved with doing this, like we can't go far from each other, we don't have CB radios, so I've got a compression bandage in my backpack just in case of snakes. All these elements you really need to consider if you're going to head out and do this type of hobby and sport. But anyway, we're also going to go around to Hill End and talk about the locations, the history, the people, the buildings. Hopefully we'll even meet with some of the locals and interview them about their gold or their artifacts, so that'd be good. Anyway, we're down here at the moment at the bridle track down to Lower Turon, and Oakey Creek is just to the left of me. I've just come up an offshoot of that gully because I am born and bred here, so I do know a few of the areas. But this area, I've only been here once before. There's a mine that goes into the side of the hill here, and I know a story about this fella back in the 80s. The Cat was his nickname, and this is the story and the mine that relates to it. Some of you might know the story, some of you might not, but we're going to head in there. I'll show you the mine now. This is highly dangerous, guys. Don't do this stuff. These cracks are just here at the entrance. You can see all these rocks are falling right down here. A small tremor in the earth, or a large thunderstorm coming by and some lightning hitting the ground and rocking it. This is dangerous. But this is what the diggers did in the 1800s, and this is a mine shaft from the 1800s. I did promise you a story about the Cat, as he was known. He was called the Cat because he was a fossicker as well in Hill End, and he was supposedly, he fossicked of a night time, and his eyes were so good, he only did it on a full moon, but he always fossicked and could find colour in the night time of a full moon of light. So they called him the Cat. And it was told that once he was down in this mine and he had his hurricane lamp, and he was up inspecting the mine wall down here, and he heard a noise to the right of him, and he said he tried to brush it off and kept inspecting the mine's face, and then he heard a bit more of a noise, and he looked over and he could hear some breathing coming from beside him. It really shook him up to the fact where he started to leave the mine with his hurricane lamp. But as he was leaving the mine, he could hear footsteps behind him. When he stopped, the footsteps stopped. Eared him out even further, so he got, a bit more pace to him, and eventually whatever was following him, he could hear it clearly now, and the breathing behind him almost on his neck, to the point where he started to run. Fear gripped him. He ran screaming out of this mine with his hurricane lamp in hand. It was daytime, lucky for him, but he threw his lamp to the right, and he jumped to the left, and he said he looked over and he saw one of the biggest bulls in his life walking out of this mine shaft and down the gully. Back in the 80s, there used to be a heap of common cattle in the area. My old man was part of the mustering that happened every now and then. They used to come down here, muster the cattle up to the top of Hill End and begin marking them, sorting them, selling them. I don't know, I'm not much in cattle. So anyway, I might run in here for like 5 seconds, but that's about it. Yeah, I like gold, but I don't like gold that much. She goes in for about 50 metres, and can see people have been in there chipping away at the walls and stuff. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think there's much gold in there at all either. But anyway, I think it's just better off to stay away from stuff like that. Cool stuff, guys. As you can see, we have ended up down in the river. We spent about 2 hours up in the hills detecting. This is what we found collectively, basically. Henry found a little piece of metal, a bit of a lock off something, just a bit of a four-wheel drive or something. But this is the average stuff that you're going to find out in a day's metal detecting. Foil, wire, bit of a can, some bit of metal. Don't know what that is. It does look pretty cool. Could be a chock for a lumberjack type of a dude or something, I don't know. If I had the black powder, I'd have a 22 slug. That's the average day, and we only went out for about 2 hours. I had an old fella take me out once. We went out all day. We spent about 3 hours just walking first into no man's land before we started metal detecting. He found a tiny little bit of gold. I found nothing. But, that's the aim of the game. Metal detecting is really hit or miss. You either find something good or you don't. I like to think of it as I'm just a good Samaritan wandering through the hills, just cleaning up the garbage. Eventually we'll find some treasure one day. But yeah, me and Henry, we've ended up back down here in the creek because panning is more my forte, so we're going to still try to get some colour. But I hope you guys have liked the first episode, and follow us, subscribe, do whatever you have to do. And you'll see more of us with a bit of luck. Coolies.